Along the stormy coasts of northern Europe, people have long told the tale of the fisherman and his wife, a story that rises and falls like the sea itself. It is a quiet, cautionary fairy tale about wants that grow larger each time they are fed. So settle in and picture a lonely shore, a crooked little hut, and waves whispering against the sand. Long ago, there lived a poor fisherman and his wife beside the sea. Their hut leaned sideways in the wind, its roof patched with straw and old sailcloth, its doorway always rattling in the salt air. Inside, everything was cramped and worn. The floor was hard-packed earth. The table was rough and splintered. The bowls were chipped. Yet every morning the fisherman went out faithfully in his little boat, hoping the sea might be kind. He was patient, humble, and used to the grey rhythm of weather, tide, and empty nets. One day the fisherman cast his line again and again into the green-grey water, and for many hours he caught nothing at all. Then at last the line pulled strangely, not with the heavy jerk of an ordinary fish, but with a smooth and living weight, as if something wise had taken the hook. He drew it up carefully and saw a flounder unlike any he had ever known. Its scales shimmered blue, silver, and gold in the weak sunlight. Its dark eye was bright and sorrowful. Then, to his astonishment, the flounder spoke. "Fisherman," it said, "listen to me. Put me back into the sea. I am no common fish, but an enchanted prince. You would gain nothing by killing me, and I beg you to spare my life." The fisherman, who had a gentle heart, did not hesitate. "Well then," he murmured, "back you go." And he slipped the magical fish into the water, where it vanished into a widening ring of light. When the fisherman returned home and told his wife what had happened, she stared at him in disbelief. She was tired of the damp hut, tired of the smoky air, tired of scrubbing broken dishes in a place that never felt clean. "You let such a fish go for nothing," she cried. "If it was an enchanted prince, it could surely have granted a wish. Go back at once, ask for a better cottage." The fisherman shifted uneasily. He had not freed the fish for a reward. Still, his wife would not stop. So with a heavy heart, he went back to the shore. The sea was calm and green, almost glassy, and the fisherman called softly into the water, "Little flounder in the sea, my wife, she sends me unto thee. I do not wish to trouble you, but she says I should ask. She wants a better cottage than our crooked hut." Up from the water rose the shining fish. "Go home," said the flounder gently. "She has it already." And indeed, when the fisherman walked back over the dunes, the crooked hut was gone. In its place stood a neat little cottage with whitewashed walls, bright windows, and a red roof warm in the evening light. A tiny garden grew before it. There were bean poles, herbs, tidy stepping stones, and even a bench by the door. Inside stood polished chairs, a proper bed, copper pans, and clean crockery stacked on shelves. For a moment the fisherman felt wonder, and perhaps even gratitude. But his wife only smiled in a sharp, satisfied way and ran her hand over the smooth table. "This is better," she said, "much better. But now that I have seen what is possible, why should we stop here?" Days passed, and comfort began to feel ordinary. She looked from the cottage windows toward the bluff beyond, and imagined something grander still. Soon she said, "Go back to the fish. I want a great stone house with servants and a fine hall." The fisherman obeyed once more, though each step felt heavier than the last. This time, when he reached the shore, the sea was no longer calm. It had turned a murky blue-violet, and small waves slapped the sand with a fretful sound. He called to the flounder, feeling ashamed. Again the fish appeared, patient as ever, and listened to the new request. "Go home," it said. "She has it already." The fisherman returned to find not a cottage, but a broad stone manor with tall windows, carved doors, and a courtyard bright with flowers. Servants hurried up and down the steps. Inside were chandeliers, carved chests, velvet curtains, and long tables set with silver. His wife came down the staircase in a fine gown and looked around as if all of it had always belonged to her. The fisherman tried to be content. He walked through the gardens, heard fountains trickle in marble basins, and told himself surely this must be enough. But before many nights had passed, his wife began gazing beyond the manor walls toward an even grander castle on the horizon of her imagination. So the wife sent him again. She wanted not a manor, but a king's castle. The fisherman went unwillingly to the shore. The sea had darkened further now, heavy and leaden, with rolling swells under a low sky. He called, and the flounder answered. When he returned, towers rose where the manor had stood. Great banners snapped in the wind. Guards in shining helmets lined the steps. Within, every ceiling glittered with gold and painted stars. His wife sat in a high chamber wearing jewels at her throat, and servants bowed as she passed. She didn't ask whether the fisherman was happy. She only asked how she looked with a crown. Soon she was queen, and still she was not still inside. She ruled from a bright throne, but her thoughts kept climbing. "Queen is not enough," she said one restless night, staring through tall windows at a sky full of clouds. "I want to be empress. Go to the fish again." The fisherman felt the room turn colder, though the fires burned bright. Again, the fisherman walked to the sea, and now he could barely bear to look at it. The water was black-green and thick, the waves rearing up and sinking with a deep muttering sound. He called out, and the flounder rose from the turbulence, shining strangely in the dark water. When he returned, the castle had become an imperial palace vast as a city, with domes and colonnades and endless torch-lit corridors. Noblemen waited in rows. Pages hurried over mosaic floors. His wife sat upon a throne higher than before, clothed in white and gold, a sceptre in her hand, an orb beside her knee. "Now I am empress," she said. Yet even as she spoke, she looked beyond the throne room, beyond the courtyards, beyond the whole world of ordinary rulers. One morning she summoned the fisherman before dawn. Her eyes were bright with a feverish idea. "Empress is not enough. I want to be pope, ruler over all souls as well as kingdoms. Go." The fisherman trembled. "Wife," he whispered, "that is too much." But she answered, "Go." The fisherman went once more, though fear tugged at him like a hook. The sky was almost black by then, and the sea rolled in violent heaps, streaked with foam like torn lace. His voice shook as he called to the flounder. Once again the fish appeared and spoke the same simple words, and once again the world changed. Now his wife sat in a magnificent sacred hall, robed in white, lifted high above kings and queens who waited below her blessing hand. Candles blazed in gold stands. Incense curled through cavernous arches. Yet even this did not quiet her. She sat wakeful through the night, and before sunrise she rose and looked through the eastern windows, where the first thin light of dawn touched the clouds. Then a terrible desire came into her heart. "I want more than crowns," she said. "I want the sun and moon to rise when I command them. I want to be like God." The fisherman felt his knees weaken. "Wife, no one can ask that." But she turned on him with blazing eyes. "Go to the fish at once!" He went because he did not know what else to do. The storm had swallowed the whole horizon now. The sea was no longer blue or green, but nearly black, and it rose in monstrous walls that crashed and boiled and seemed to speak with a terrible voice. Rain lashed his face. Thunder rolled over the water. Barely able to stand, the fisherman cried into the storm, "Little flounder in the sea, my wife, she sends me unto thee. She wants what no one should want. She wishes to command the sun and moon to be like God." For the first time, the flounder did not answer at once. The fish rose slowly through the black water, shining pale as moonlight under a storm wave, and there was something ancient and sorrowful in its gaze. Then it spoke only 3 quiet words. "Go home again." Nothing more. No anger, no curse. Only that. And the fisherman, soaked and trembling, turned back through the wind, knowing in his heart that the sea had reached its limit. When he came over the last dune, everything grand had vanished. No palace, no towers, no sacred hall full of candles. There by the shore stood the same crooked hut as before, its patched roof sagging, its door hanging askew, its little window rattling in the wind. Beside it stood his wife in her old faded dress and weather-beaten shawl, staring in stunned silence. The earth floor was back, the chipped bowls were back, the smoky hearth and narrow bed were back. For a long moment neither of them spoke. The sea behind them had quieted to its first grey breathing, as if nothing extraordinary had ever happened at all. The fisherman felt not triumph, but a tired and aching sadness. He had asked and asked against his better judgment, and now the miracle was gone like foam from sand. His wife stepped into the hut slowly, touching the rough table as if she had never seen it before. At last she sat down, and the room was silent except for the wind. So there they remained, in the little hut by the sea, and perhaps, in the long hush after all that splendour and ruin, the fisherman understood something he had always known. A small meal tastes sweeter when eaten in peace than a feast swallowed in fear. A roof, however humble, is kinder than a palace haunted by endless wanting. As for his wife, the old story does not say whether she became grateful, only that the sea gave no more answers. Yet one can imagine the strange emptiness she must have felt after holding crowns, sceptres, and impossible dreams in her hands. The wind still moved through the grass. The tide still came and went. The gulls still wheeled over the shore. The world had not grown smaller because she had been made small again. It had only returned to its true size. And there, with salt on the air and waves on the sand, the lesson waited quietly, as lessons often do for anyone willing to hear it. The story of the fisherman and his wife has lasted for generations because it tells a truth people recognize in themselves. Wanting comfort is natural. Wanting dignity is human. But there is a hunger that grows by feeding, a restless voice that says just a little more, and then a little more again, until nothing is enough. In this tale, the sea itself becomes a mirror of that hunger, darkening with every new demand, until even magic falls silent. So when you remember this old coastal fairy tale, do not only remember the flounder or the palaces or the storm. Remember the humble hut too. Remember the peace that was overlooked. Remember that gratitude is a kind of shelter, and contentment is a kind of wealth. The fisherman asked for little and lost much by asking against his heart. His wife gained the world for a moment and found it could not fill her. And that is why the waves still seem to whisper this lesson at the edge of the shore. Enough can be a blessing, if only we know how to see it.